So, uh, sir, two panelists have joined, sir. Professor Pranab Dev, sir, ex-HOD of Cytology, PGI Chandigarh. Good morning to you again, sir. And Professor Rakesh Lodha, sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Can you turn on the video, sir?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So,
good
good
morning.
morning, sir. Professor Rakesh Lodha is Professor of Department of Pediatrics, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. He is one of the key policymakers in the field of healthcare in India and is involved in a lot of government bodies who makes policies. And Professor Pranab Desa, reputed author in cytology and pathology. We have all grown up reading his books. So welcome to both of you, sir. So the first event is the keynote address by uh, the Miss Anna Roy from Niti Aayog. So before ma'am joins, we'll be having a brief prelude on the purpose of this meet. The purpose is to identify areas of action in quality control of air, because most of the AI solutions today that are available in the market, they are piecemeal, scattered. They don't have any particular quality control in the design, and there's no legal framework or regulatory framework regarding what happens when something goes wrong. So to that end, we will try to formulate, at least identify a few areas where action can be taken, and then we can proceed with formulating a guideline over the next 6 months, and then come out with a draft guideline. That is the agenda of this meeting. We'll collect feedback from clinicians, radiologists, and pathologists regarding what the demands from AI are, and then we'll also have a technical consultation with um, scientists from AIMS Kalyani and IIT Kanpur, so that all the stakeholders are on the same table for at least a while, and we can discuss common points. So for the first session, we're now waiting for Ms. Anna Roy ma'am to join us. So before ma'am joins, I'll just introduce ma'am. She is from the Indian Economic Service and alumnus of Sriram College of Commerce. Yes. Sir. Uh, so while we wait for ma'am to join in, may I invite panelists of the first panel discussion. Next slide. So, Brigadier Alok Bhalla, Vishisht Seva Medal, HOD Surgery at AFMC Pune, and Brigadier Muthukrishnan sir, Sena Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal, HOD Medicine, AFMC Pune. Professor Somesh Gupta sir, he said he'll either join or send his written feedback. Professor Rakesh Lodha sir is here. Colonel Vinny Wilson sir, uh, Professor of Neuromedicine and AFMC Pune, and Dr. Vikas. While we wait for Dr. Vikas to join in, I'll just drop him a message. Meanwhile, we can start the discussion. So, the first question to Alok Bhalla sir. So, sir, as per your opinion, what are the areas in which AI, what are the areas in which AI can make an impact, sir, in clinical disciplines?
See, as of today, with the knowledge that we have about AI, I think the major impact is going to be in the field of diagnostics. Uh, Whether it is radiological, this thing, imaging interpretations, things which we tend to somehow miss out, probably would get picked up with the database that we would be feeding and the interpretations that the AI would be giving to us. And the same thing would be go probably towards your NGS and the interpretation of all the data that we're going to have. I personally feel it is the diagnostics which are going to see the first wave of the revolution and maybe in future the clinical part of it.
The same question to Brigadier Muthukrishnan sir now. Which areas of clinical medicine do you see AI coming up in the coming days, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Parikshit. Actually, if you look at AI, it has a promise in every aspect of clinical medicine. If you start from just history taking from patients using the language processing models, which can convert a patient's history into data which can be analyzed, to adding the examination data and arriving at a differential diagnosis, which can sort of prompt the clinician to those commoner conditions, which may be the differentials, to risk assessment of what likely condition can be, to even suggesting treatment and thereafter prognosticating the response to this treatment and the follow-up. So although all these things are possible with AI, uh, as we start in the initial stages of development of this part of the science in our clinical medicine, what we should look at is the aspects which are more reliable as far as entering data and generating AI models, for which I feel the ones which have basic pattern recognition kind of situations, like be it the diagnostics as pathology or radiology, or images, things like dermatology, where this can actually be picked up and diagnosed with fair bit of accuracy. And these are the fields which already there is some headway that has happened. Uh, Subsequent stages of development can involve more subjectivity when it comes to adding historical aspects of patient's history and other aspects which can be supported by clinicians who have taken this history and added data, which will be manual entry into this AI model, which has this problem of a bit of inaccuracy coming in. So I think that can be the subsequent stages of development.
Professor Rakesh Lodha, sir, you have been working in the field of integrating technology into medicine for a while. So the same question again to you, sir. Which areas do you foresee an impact of AI in medicine, sir?
Yeah, thanks, Parikshit. So, am I audible? I think just need to confirm that. Hello.
Yes, sir, audible, but I think the voice could be a little clearer.
Is it better?
Slightly better, sir.
Okay, I'll just try to be a little bit louder. So thanks. I think I would agree with the co-panelists about the possible role. I think so one would be predictions or diagnostic possibilities, be it based on imaging, and so that's definitely an area, be it, imaging, radiology, maybe looking at, let's say, retinopathy, the retina images, and so on. And similarly, wherever there's a possibility of a pattern recognition, something like dermatological conditions, or maybe, let's say, dysmorphism in children, and so on. The other would be, let's say, the area that we work in is in the critical care area, where lots of data are collected during the usual monitoring. Let's say, the vital signs monitor, the multipara monitors which are there. And one, apart from looking at, the flags in terms of the values breaching the alarms, the set limits for the alarms, there's a lot of, data being generated at a very high resolution of, let's say, maybe every second, which we are not really using it in its entirety. And that's where some of the work has been to see whether the machine learning part could actually taken all of this data, which is a high volume data, to see whether you can predict events, something like a deterioration, or maybe, the identification of a sepsis, and get some lead time in detecting these. And obviously, this is the first step. For this to be meaningful, when it's implemented, one would need to look at whether knowing something a little bit earlier actually makes an impact on the management and subsequently the outcomes. I mean, that's the final test. Another area apart from the diagnostics or prediction would be in terms of, trying to have more personalized medicine, or having inputs into clinical decision support systems, where based on the information that's available, response to treatments and all, whether one can actually come up with more personalized treatment plans for various disease conditions, and see whether it actually makes an impact on the outcomes of various conditions. So broadly, these two areas that would, I think, hold promise. Apart from this, obviously, the lab component comes in, and I think you're going to be talking about it later. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Uh, uh, I think the keynote speaker has joined. Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Uh, Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, could you please turn the video on?
Yeah, yeah. So, good morning, everybody, and my sincere apologies. There is a medical personal exigency at home, because of which I got delayed a bit, and so I have to connect through my phone. So, my sincere apologies for this.
Ma'am, thanks for sparing your valuable time. And introduction to our keynote speaker. Uh, Annara ma'am has been in the Indian Economic Service and an alumnus of Sriram College of Commerce, a former lecturer in Delhi University and TERI. She's worked in Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and in Niti Aayog, and in important sectors like infrastructure reforms, public-private partnerships, financial sector, and banking sectors. In the Niti Aayog, she has headed the vertical with data management and frontier technologies, and has seen a lot of AI technologies in the last decade firsthand, and has been often involved in the development and regulatory process. So we welcome the keynote speaker for today, Ms. Anna Roy. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, and it was really nice that I could hear some of the panelists before I, share my views. So it was quite insightful. Um, Basically, in my almost 3 decade career, I've seen there are fads which come in. So whenever something is fashionable, everybody refers to it, and we tend to miss the real context, the real part of it, because there is so much of buzz around it. It was there some time back around blockchain. Presently it is AI, and AI has been building up for the past few years. Before that, when I was in infrastructure financing, there was a lot of thing about privatization of generation, uh, and various other things, which becomes a fad, and it becomes very fashionable to talk about it. And in the process, we often uh, kind of miss